Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another ZARA fragrance review video. It has been a while since I've made one of those because if you know me or you follow my channel, then you probably know that I recently had a baby. So I don't have a lot of time anymore, but when I saw that ZARA created this new capsule collection centering around the note of Tonka, I couldn't not make a review video about it, so here we are. If you don't know the ZARA capsule fragrance collections, they release one of those every few months probably, and they typically center around one note. So in the past, they already had the capsule collections centering around the notes of cherry, amber, vanilla, oud, rose. They don't have all the collections available anymore, but they do re-release fragrance collections from time to time. So if you are interested in those capsule fragrance collections, I also made review videos about those and I will link them in the description below, and also you can obviously just find them on my channel. Now today we are doing the Tonka capsule collection. We again have three different fragrances. They are called Tonka Mystique, Tonka Cream, and Tonka Obsession. These fragrances come in bottles of 50 ml of eau de parfum and they retail for roughly 18 euros in Europe, or at least in Belgium, 30 US dollars, 36 Canadian dollars, and 18 British pounds. Now, two of the fragrances also come in a duo pack. So if you're interested in trying all the fragrances, or you're interested in just trying a Tonka Obsession and Tonka Cream, that one is 26 euros, so basically 13 euros per bottle, and it's just more interesting getting the duo pack plus one instead of getting all three fragrances separately. So let's just start with the first one, and the first one that I tried is Tonka Mystique. So the notes of Tonka Mystique are obviously tonka, incense, vetiver, and then on Fragrantica, there's also mentioning of the note of Lily of the Valley, but I didn't see that note mentioned on the ZARA website. Those are the notes, and this one is the first one that I tried, and I gotta say, I can already tell you straight off that this is by far my favorite fragrance of this collection. It's very unisex, first of all. That is one thing that I immediately thought of when I smelled it. It's perfectly unisex right down the middle. I think it's the vetiver note that gives it a little bit of a more unisex or masculine vibe, but it's still not too masculine. I think a woman can perfectly wear this as well. It's very nice. It's smooth, it's expensive smelling, and it's very warm. I think the notes of Tonka, I've never in my life smelled pure Tonka, so I don't know exactly what Tonka smells like, but every time I smell a fragrance that has Tonka as one of the main notes, I always think that fragrance smells really warm and cozy, soft, smooth, creamy. So that is what I consider Tonka to be. It always makes a fragrance more smooth and warm, and yeah, just something cozy about it. And this fragrance has that as well. So it's really smooth. It has a creaminess to it. Like I said, I imagine a man wearing this, but I can perfectly imagine a woman wearing this as well. I think it's a really good one. I think it's a really difficult one to describe. Cannot really say which notes I'm picking up, but it definitely has the Tonka and the vetiver. Not sure about the Lily and the Valley and the incense, but I'm not the best at really distinguishing all the separate notes in a fragrance. I think this one is a little bit difficult to describe, but I would advise you, if you're interested in this line, to check this one out if you're near a ZARA store, because like I said, it's my favorite, and this one is definitely worth checking out as it smells interesting, mature, sophisticated, and it smells a lot more expensive than it is. And I also think that it is absolutely perfect for this time of year, depending on where you live, obviously, but where I live, it's fall, and I think it's a perfect fall fragrance. It's so cozy. You can wear this outside when you're wearing like a warm, soft fall coat. A scarf would smell amazing with this fragrance, but it's also, it kind of smells like coming inside after having been outside for a while, and you're a bit cold, like not super cold because it's fall and not winter, but you're a bit cold, you're a bit wet, and then you come into this warm house and you know, you're just warming up and ready to have a cup of tea or something. It's a very cozy fragrance, and I think the fall season is a very cozy season, so that perfectly fits with this fragrance. The fragrance fits with the season. I also think it's kind of a cool girl fragrance. So because it's quite unisex, I think that if you're a woman wearing this, you have this sort of coolness around you. It's not super feminine, super elegant, sexy, but it's more like, who is she? You know, who is that girl? I think there's something really cool about this fragrance, and I'm actually really thinking about keeping my bottle, even though I'm trying to have a smaller fragrance collection, because I now have roughly 65 fragrances, something like that. And even though a lot of you, or a lot of fragrance lovers, love to have more and more fragrances, to me 65 fragrances is just too much, and I kind of want to tone it down to maybe like 45 fragrances. But this one is really good. Also performance, I thought it was really good. I actually sprayed a little bit of toilet paper and I put it in the guest bathroom at our house, and you could just, like the entire room smelled of it. It smelled so nice. It does sort of fall a little bit flat on the skin. So I do think it smells better on textures, let's say. So like your clothes or your hair, it will smell better on those than on your actual skin. But I really think it has a decent performance. It's actually pretty strong, and it also lasted a pretty long time. So if you ask me, this is definitely a win by Zara. Well done. It smells, if I had to compare it to something that I know, I actually don't think I can. It doesn't really remind me of anything that I know. Maybe it reminds me, but I'm not saying it smells the same. I'm absolutely not saying that, but it reminds me a little bit of Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mal Elixir, which is this super smooth vanilla fragrance that I really think is fantastic. My husband has that fragrance. Like I said, doesn't smell the same. That one is more vanilla-y. I think it's lavendery also. This one isn't, but it has that same smoothness, warmness. It's just yummy almost. It's not really super gourmand, but there's something yummy about it. I think it's fantastic, and I'm gonna rate this fragrance. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It's an absolute win, and again, my favorite out of all three. So yeah, that was Tonka Mystique. The next fragrance I tried is Tonka Cream. And Tonka Cream has notes of tonka, obviously, milky coconut, and jasmine. So when I saw these notes, I kind of thought this would be my favorite, as I always think coconut and jasmine smell super nice. I mean, it's not something super original, but with that tonka, I thought it would be a really nice fragrance. And the thing is, it's okay. I think it smells quite nice. I don't dislike this fragrance at all. It does smell like a really milky, lactonic, coconut, creamy fragrance with a little bit of a white floral. So it does have a little bit of genericness to it, but I often have that impression when it comes to the note of jasmine. So especially jasmine combined with vanilla, or in this case with coconut and tonka, which are sort of vanilla type of notes, if you know what I mean. Like, it also gives that little bit of sweetness and warmth to the jasmine. That combination just often gives me a little bit of a generic designery type of impression. Same here. The coconut is definitely present, so I do think this is not really a fall fragrance, although it's not a fresh coconut. It's not super sunny, beachy coconutty. Because of that tonka, it really is more of a dense, warmer coconut. It's more like you've opened up a can of coconut milk and warmed it up on the stove. Doesn't smell exactly like that, but you know what I mean? It's not like super, it doesn't really transport me to the beach when I smell this. That is not really the case. It kind of smells more like a coconut scented soap, like a bar of soap that smells like coconut. It's kind of like that. So I do think it's nice. It could also be like a really rich coconutty hair mask, something that really nourishes your hair. It's sort of like that. So it's nice. I don't dislike this, but personally, I don't need this one. I don't really know when I would wear it, because it's not very, like I said, it's not a summery coconut, but also it's too coconutty to be wearing in fall and winter. So it's nice, but it's not super original or impressive, or fragrances don't always have to be groundbreaking. I'm not saying that, but yeah, if you like milky coconut, check it out. You might really like this one. For me personally, it's just not something that I need in my collection. I'm gonna rate this fragrance, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because it does smell nice. I mean, if I smelled someone wearing this, I would think they smelled nice, but I would think they've just had some sort of coconut oil massage or something, and they just came back without showering, and I can smell the coconut oil. Kind of smells like that. Also, if you like the milkiness, the lactonicness of, let's say, Blanche Bête by Le Liquide Imaginaire, I'm not saying this smells the same, it doesn't, but if you like that creaminess, then you might like this one as well. I do think the name is well chosen, Tonka Cream. It is very creamy. Also, personally, I don't do fragrance layering in general, but if you do like to layer fragrances and you kind of want to have, or you have a fragrance that has some coconut in it, or you think that it could use some coconut, or you want to amplify the coconut, then this could be a great layering fragrance. It's just pretty simple to me. It kind of reminds me of one of the fragrances that Zara once released. It was a collection in the men's department, and it was created by Olivia Jacobetti, if I remember well. I did make a review video about that. I forgot the name of the fragrance. I will put it up on the screen. But one of the fragrances that she created for Zara was also very coconutty without a lot much else going on. It was kind of like a simple, warm, creamy coconut. Kind of reminds me of that one. It's been a while since I smelled that one, so I can't really say if it's exactly the same, but it's sort of like that. If you smelled that fragrance and you liked it, check this one out, because the one that I'm talking about has been discontinued for quite a long time already. But if you know what I'm talking about and you liked it and you missed that fragrance, check this one out. Like I said, may not be exactly the same, but it's similar, definitely. It's in the same vibe. Warm, creamy coconut, very lactonic, hard to hate. That was Tonka Cream. Oh, and the performance was also pretty decent. I gotta say, all three of these have good performance, good longevity. Then the last fragrance I tried was Tonka Obsession. The notes of this fragrance are tonka, sandalwood, and vanilla. So I gave this one a spray, and it's vanilla. It's pretty much just a really simple vanilla. And to be honest, not a great one, or at least not a type of vanilla that I like. I think it's like, I don't know, there's something about Zara vanillas that just don't really work for me. It's not just Zara vanillas. I don't know, is it vanilla caviar? Is it vanilla pod? Is it like Tahitian vanilla? I don't really know what the differences are between all of those types of vanillas, but this type of vanilla is the same vanilla. Wow, how often did I say the word vanilla? So this type of vanilla is the same type of vanilla that Zara already put in their vanilla capsule collection. Not the vanilla capsule collection by Jérôme Eptinette, not those, but I think around 2, or has it been 3 years ago, Zara created 4 vanilla fragrances. I think they still have 3 of them. And if you liked those fragrances, it's that type of vanilla that is also in here. So it kind of reminds me of, if I'm remembering correctly, Vanilla Supreme. There was one fragrance that had an ink note. It kind of reminds me of that one. So it's not super original. Not that it has to be, but it's also, it's just not the best vanilla. Even if you like vanilla, I would just try this one first. I think there are better simple vanillas on the market. It's just like, it's kind of a synthetic vanilla if you ask me. I think it smells a little synthetic. Also, I saw on Fragrantica that people are comparing this one to Burberry Goddess. I have to wildly disagree. I don't think it smells like Burberry Goddess at all. It really just smells like vanilla, and it smells like, I'm gonna look up which vanilla it was. Okay, so I do think it was Sensual Vanilla that this reminds me of, or Supreme Vanilla. Sensual Vanilla or Supreme Vanilla? I don't really remember, but if you like those fragrances, this is sort of similar. It could totally fit into that category. So I don't really think it's that impressive. It's not for me. I think it's pleasant, but yeah. I'm just gonna rate this one a 6 out of 10. It doesn't smell bad, but it's just too similar to the earlier vanilla fragrances by Zara. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with this fragrance. I feel like it falls a bit flat. But of course, if you like vanilla fragrances, check it out for yourself and let me know in the comments what you think, because it's not because I don't like it that you don't like it. I mean, it's not that I don't like it, but I don't love it. I gotta be honest, I only tried the last one on a piece of tissue and not on my skin, so I don't know the performance on skin, but on the tissue it lasted, again, a pretty long time. So I did, I had like a bit of tissue, I sprayed the fragrance on, and then I put the tissue in my shoe closet, because a shoe closet never really smells that great. And every time that I open the closet, I do get a pretty strong waft of this fragrance. So maybe that tells you something about the performance. If I kind of think it's okay. I think it's a decent performer, but again, I did not try it on skin, so don't quote me on that. But those were the 3 Tonka fragrances. Let me know in the comments what you think, and of course, feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or it was somewhat helpful to you. I'm also working on another Zara fragrance review video, this time about the Unusual collection. So we have Unusual Flower, Unusual Gourmand, and I believe Unusual Wood? No, Unusual Fruit. So I'm working on those. I still have to sniff them, but my package did arrive and that video is coming up as well. So if you want to see that video or you just want to see future videos in general, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And again, let me know in the comments what you think of these fragrances. I always love reading your experiences and your thoughts. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you for the next one. Bye!